Okay, today's video is going to be Doctor Who Full Circle with Tom Baker and Lalla Ward. And we'll talk to you about that in just a moment. But first, I wanted to mention that this morning, shortly after we got up and running, that we noticed that there were a couple of black-breasted whistling ducks in our front yard. We rarely see ducks around here, even though we're not far from the seacoast, but these kind of ducks are not something that you see every day, and so we decided to take a few seconds of video of that and let you see it as well. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today, Full Circle. This is the, once again, another one of the John Nathan Turner produced Doctor Who's. And in this case, despite the fact that behind the scenes, Tom Baker and Lalla Ward were literally shouting each other, the chemistry was very good. And we would find out, of course, that perhaps some of this chemistry is sexual tension, because as soon as she left the show, they got married. And their marriage didn't last for an incredibly long period of time, but you can kind of see how the chemistry works between them when they're performing. So that's something to look at when you see this episode. The TARDIS has been called back to Gallifrey, and Romana believes that this is her last chance to travel, and she'll have to spend the rest of her life doing nothing on Gallifrey. And, of course, the TARDIS malfunctions and takes them even out of their own universe into what's called E-space, kind of a antimatter universe. And in the case of this, they find themselves on this planet, which is at the spatial coordinates, and they give the coordinates of Gallifrey. It's 00011110 or some such, by 3 or by 6, something like that. I mean, whatever they did was not at random, because they mentioned the galactic coordinates of Gallifrey on a number of occasions. And in doing so, in this universe, it's on this planet, which is, instead of desert-like Gallifrey is, very heavily wooded, lushly wooded, and a nice flowing river through, where they show some of the natives swimming. Now, our people here are technologically advanced, it would seem, but do like to live off the land. And so they're swimming in the river, and they have on rather light colored and light loose-fitting clothes. And there are 3 deciders that keep it all kind of a democracy. And they have a Starliner, presumably that was crashed there some generations ago, that they have been slowly but surely fixing up. So when the Doctor arrives, they find that something else is going on. The mists start rising, and the mists have been something that the deciders have seen before, and they said, we have to all go into the Starliner, and it may be 10 or 12 years before we're able to go back out on the surface, because the atmosphere will be poisoned. And as the Doctor and Romana arrive, they find, of course, that it's not poisoned at all. They see the exodus of the people and come upon Adric, who is stumbles upon the TARDIS. This will be the first time we see Adric, and he will continue with the Doctor until well into the Peter Davison era. What we find out about Matthew Waterhouse, who played Adric, was he was 18 at the time, and to this day, there has never been a younger Doctor Who companion. And apparently he had been working for the BBC, and when he found out that they were casting for a new companion, he applied for it and got it. His young looks made him look younger than his 18 years, and he claimed in an interview some years later that he was 35 before he quit getting children's roles. But anyway, this deals with some teenage outlaws that Adric is part of, the elite, who are the ones that are fixing the ship, and the deciders, the three governing people. And then marshmen who climb up out of the marsh when the mists are up, and they can survive in this poisonous atmosphere, or at least according to the deciders. But when the Doctor and Romana arrive, they find that the atmosphere is not poisoned. They obviously had some things wrong. So the Doctor is able to gain entry into the Starliner and very much shake up everybody's worldview. Now, in the meantime, Romana is bitten by an alien spider, and it causes her to lose some of her memory and also go into cahoots with the Marshmen, who try to get into the Starliner, and we don't really know what they were up to, but they seemed to be dangerous, and they did kill a couple of people, I think. So that's basically the plot in a nutshell. What I wanted to talk about this was how well done it was. They're actually on location this time. I don't know exactly where, but in a thickly wooded area with a real river that's going by, and people are swimming in it, and there are docks, and they're carrying these watermelon-looking things that are probably something else. When they cut them open, they're yellow. And while there are yellow watermelons, this looked more like the inside of a squash than a melon. Nevertheless, the gathering of this kind of food and such as that, and the scientific community that's trying to study more of the flora and fauna of the planet as they're there, is all part of the overall plot. But the setting of it gave us a big world to be in. The TARDIS isn't just next door to where they're going to be. And even when Doctor and Romana come out of the TARDIS and sit down on a log, birds fly up behind them. Possibly they were released from cages, but it still gave a very realistic look to it. And even the Starliner was not a bad set. There were several sections of the Starliner, and the design, which included a national logo of interconnected polygons, was interesting. And the walls were done in kind of a burnished chrome, and you could think that this was an aging ship. Their center was kind of a library, and in this library had all kinds of pamphlets on how to repair the ship. And so that was the main activity of people who were on the Starliner, which was replacing bad components and keeping it under repair, and they seemed to be doing a pretty good job at that. The deciders did not seem to be overly toxic. They were certainly wanting to work in the interest of the people, and while there were a number of secrets there, it was basically to cover up something that was a bit more embarrassing. So we have all of this, and in 4 episodes, it works out pretty good. It doesn't seem to have a lot of filler in it. We see a number of set pieces. The swamp people, the Marshmen, were, at first I thought they were covered in bubble wrap, but actually they did have kind of a textured outfit, which gave them a realistic look. And all in all, it all ends up with having a new stowaway companion. So I liked the episode. I think that you would too. It is full circle. It is in the 1980s season of the Tom Baker era of Doctor Who. I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put your comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so already. And like, if you will. That would be nice. So until next time, don't go far.